You're watching The Roach on Florida TV.
Get your thoughts on Mars. I got to give my opinion about this. I think this discussion about we've got to go to Mars, we've got to colonize Mars, we've got to set up maybe some fast food restaurants up there. I don't understand it. It's the most horrible place to live. Obviously, there's no oxygen, there's no trees, there's nothing. Now, maybe sending a rover there like we've done makes sense, but I don't get this whole, we need to have a backup planet because, man, when we screw up Earth, we need to be able to go there and live. Okay, you're never going to live on Mars comfortably like we do on Earth. It isn't going to happen. So are we doing these things because we want to, it's prestigious? Oop, look, we did it. We went to Mars. Or is there something I'm missing about this discussion that I just don't understand?
Well, there's two reasons why maybe we shouldn't have it, make it a permanent home to continue to keep our species going. A smart person once said, only a retarded species keeps all its breeding pairs in the same place. Well, if we have to go there because it's required to keep the species going, then so be it. We're not there yet. But on the other hand, we are using up the Earth at some rate.
But take care of the Earth, Bob. Just let's be nice to the Earth. Let's just be good to that.
I'm with you 100%. And that brings in the other aspect. So we learned so much by our effort to get to the moon in the 60s that improved the quality of life on Earth. A lot of things fell out of that we never envisioned would happen just because President Kennedy says we're going to the moon within the decade.
So you would be in favor of going to Mars? Like, hey, we're going to send 3 astronauts up there and they're going to go live up there for, are you on board on that?
I'm on board with, I would back off a little bit. Personally, I would say let's do an Apollo 8 type of thing.
Okay.
We'll send astronauts up there. They can still collect information from orbit, and so can the spacecraft, and get the benefit of that. It is exploration. We'll learn more than we have from a robot by doing that. We'll learn how to get humans into deep space and back, given that we need to do that. Landing on Mars and trying to increase the population to the rate that
really that doesn't seem
Earth,
possible.
It doesn't seem feasible. I think engineers will figure out a way to do it.
Right.
Because I believe I'm an old engineer, right? So
right.
And I think we can solve anything. I'm not sure that this body was invented or whatever or developed to be on a planet or have exposure to that much radiation, that much partial gravity. I'm not sure this body was developed to do that. I think it was only developed to exist on this
good
planet.
You're such. I knew you were a brilliant guy. I just don't understand why other people don't understand that. But so. Can the government, if Elon Musk wants to tomorrow send 3 women to Mars, can the government stop you from doing it?
Well, I don't know that they can. All human launches at this point, the rules, the government rules require the FAA to certify
your flight plan, so to speak.
Your flight, yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know that they got anything in their charter that would say they could say no because you haven't met this requirement, or they could, of course, the requirement is made up by people. They could make the requirement such that you couldn't satisfy it. But I would think the FAA really what they look for is the safety of the citizens here on the planet. If somebody wants to go to, if the rocket meets the standards of launch from this trajectory, if something bad happens, you don't the parts don't fall on Houston
Right.
or whatever type of thing, then the FAA would have to say, well, we can't stop you, you know.
That's an interesting thought. And then I can't imagine, isn't it like 6 months, 7 months of travel?
Yeah,
Like,
it's a long trip.
What would you do for 7? I can't stand a 6-hour flight.
I'm with you.
What would you
like
do?
I said, that gets back to the fact that I think this body was developed, generated, whatever, given existence to live on this rock that we're on now. I think that's why we're developed, regardless of your religious background or whatever. I don't think we were generated to live in a place like that.
Right.
We don't have the right organs for it. But that's an engineer's opinion, not a medical opinion. But on the other hand, we're doing a lot of experiments on space station now to see if there's ways we can keep this body intact, so to speak, and functioning for long durations of microgravity and radiation and all the other things that it doesn't like.
You're such a diplomat. Bob's basically saying Mars is a dumb idea. So
Yeah, you can go with that.
all right.
No more Roach on Florida TV.